Hi Bolovies, welcome to Community Living with your girl Malevo. If you're new to the channel, please remember to subscribe, and if you're stopping back by and just continuously supporting the channel, you know the jungle by now, so sing along with me. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Thank you to each and everyone that's been subscribing, commenting, liking, sharing. You know the deal, So we are on our way to 8,900, I believe. Last time I checked was almost 8,800 already, so we're left with 200 or so people to reach the 9,000 mark. So if you haven't subscribed, this is definitely a perfect opportunity to subscribe. So as you can see in the title below, we're going to be discussing all things e-hailing platforms, how to make money from e-hailing platforms, what mistakes have I made, what best practices can you implement, as well as sharing my experiences of why I will never again put up my car for such a service. I am going to be checking out a lot of my notes because your girl didn't prepare in time, but these are gems for days and they'll help you. So it took me over a year to actually sit down and record this, even though people have been requesting it for such a long time. Because for those that are not aware, when I started making money in general, not making money online, I started with deliveries and then went on to putting up my car for e-hailing purposes. So I had such a terrible experience with this, and I have a lot to say and share with you, and I really hope that you're not gonna make the same mistakes. So as I've mentioned, we're gonna start first with some mistakes that you can avoid, right? So one of the first things that you should be aware of is that you should not be buying a car because you're going to be putting it up on Bolt, unless if you have figured out this whole Bolt thing. Like, this is not your first rodeo, you know how to work around this. There are people with a fleet of cars, just say, for e-hailing purposes, right? And they already know how to do it, how to go about it. If you're not one of those people, don't buy a car solely for that. Buy a car because you, one, want it for yourself, two, you can afford it without needing to put it up for e-hailing purposes. Putting up for e-hailing purposes is because you want to do that and earn an extra income versus you are forced to do it. And the second thing I did so wrong, I got insurance before getting a driver. Insurance was, obviously taking much more money than a personal insurance would. That went on for a good 6 months without it being used for e-hailing purposes. So don't get insurance prematurely. Get insurance when you have all your ducks in a row. And then the third thing is not formally vetting a driver. So I didn't formally vet the driver. When I asked for documents, they knew what to give me and so forth. They were so helpful and forthcoming. I let my guard down. I was like, okay, let me just not go overboard, because all the things that I was going to require from this person were going to be overboard. I was going to require police clearance. I was going to require that we go and make an affidavit. I was going to require that I set up a contract so that you can both sign it and so forth. But all those things fell out the window. I was not necessarily desperate, but I was too excited to start making money because I was on my journey to trying to make as much money as I can within a specific month, right? Is trusting the driver too early. There was a point where I went for holiday or vacation, and then when I came back, I hadn't seen my car obviously for that period, and I was just okay with how things were because the driver had shown that he was to be trusted, and he used to come with his family to my place. So it was, sort of like a nice partnership that we had initially, just to find out it was a front. So I trusted this person way too early without formally vetting them, without test of time as well, considering that it was only just a month or so that we were working together. But then I decided 2-3 weeks into it that okay, this person is trustworthy. Also giving him the benefit of the doubt, right? So the week that I got back, didn't get my money because he was supposed to take that amount and actually go and basically take the car for service. So I gave him the benefit of the doubt that he'll actually schedule this. And even when I heard some crap that was just crap. Because there was a time where he was like, okay, yeah, I will go, and he was ready to do what I asked for, which was book a service with VW. I didn't want my car to be serviced anywhere else apart from the original equipment manufacturer, which was VW, right? So he was like, okay, I'll go and do the booking. And I was like, okay, he showed me that he did the booking, but what I didn't know is that you can just make a booking and never go, right? Yeah, there was that. Okay, I'm going too much into the story. I want to share the story towards the end. The story is not important, the lessons are what's more important, guys. I know we like story time, and I like a good story just like anybody else. I really don't want us to get lost in all the noise, in all the, I don't know, the stuff that happened. I don't want us to get lost in that. There's no contract signed whatsoever, and this was bad because now I do not have anything contractually bounding this person or saying that we actually had an agreement between ourselves regarding the work that we're doing and so forth. Another thing is that the insurance actually required that for them to cover my car in the case of an accident or incident, it's actually if the driver and I had a contract amongst ourselves, right? And that was not the case. So these are definitely the mistakes that I would say if you are going to go into this as someone that is taking your car to someone else to become a driver and not you driving the car itself, you definitely need to try and avoid these mistakes by all means, right? And then I'm just going to talk about the best practices. What are some of the good things that you can do? What are some of the measures that you can put into place so that you're not in the same position that I was, like you cover all your bases and so forth? So the very first thing would be that get items that will lead to protecting your car, especially the interior. So a lot of owners do not get things that protect their cars. So I got car seats that protected my entire car. I got a steering wheel cover, and yeah, just those two things. I felt like when it came, I got what are these called? Mats that were rubbery, elasticy like. I don't know the material, guys. I'm really bad with materials, but the one that wouldn't just go off. The original equipment manufacturer one was gonna be so ruined if I actually just put it and placed it in the car. So I got the ones that stuck to the car more, and it ensured that obviously the traffic that's going to happen also doesn't lead to wear and tear of the fabric that's inside the car itself, because it's more stable. I ensured that I got those 3 items to protect my car. Also, don't cheapen out when it comes to insurance and car tracker. I know a lot of people, especially when it comes to Bolt, they know that okay, I can take insurance just for the application. Once I'm done with the application, I'll drop the insurance, and yeah. And some people actually never had to even get the business insurance. But remember, in the case of an incident, which just has to happen once, and your car is like maybe almost written off status, the insurance is not gonna cover it. And another thing is that if it's you're the one that basically hit someone else and all those things, it could be a problem because someone else is driving, not even you. So you don't want to get into trouble with that. And then with the car tracker is actually what really helped me towards the end when I actually went to fetch my car. Like I literally had to go and fetch my car. It was so dramatic, guys, but yeah. And then draw a contract, as I've already mentioned. This contract will help in protecting yourself from all these things that I had mentioned, that I already mentioned. And also discuss what's going to happen in terms of wear and tear items, because obviously if you're using it for e-hailing purposes, the wear and tear unfortunately becomes, I would say, even 100 times higher than if you're just driving it on a daily basis, running your errands there and there, going to work, from work to home, and all those type of things. So you need to ensure that you discuss with the person that's going to be driving, how do you guys deal with wear and tear, because most of the wear and tear, or majority of the wear and tear, will be coming from his or her side as a driver. So they will be leading to the tires being worn out quickly, the clutch plate, if it's a manual car, being worn out too quickly, the brakes being worn out too quickly, maybe the wipers even being worn out too quickly if you are in an area that has a lot of rain and so forth. So you guys definitely need to discuss how all that works and put that in the contract itself to say, okay, do we have a 50-50 split to cover these costs? Also service. Yo guys, my driver was clocking 2k a week, 2,000 kilometers a week, right? So imagine 2,000 kilometers in a month. That is for 8,000 kilometers. We know that major and minor services happen either, for some cars it could be every 10,000 kilometers or 15,000 kilometers and so forth. So imagine almost every second month you are taking your car for service. And if you want to make sure that your car is in tip-top shape and you don't want to cut corners, and you take it to the original equipment manufacturer, that's going to be plus minus 3k going out of your pocket for this specific purpose. So it starts to not become as profitable as it should be, right? If it's coming only from your pocket, if you are the only one feeling the pain in terms of the wear and tear, as well as the maintenance and the servicing of this vehicle that you both are using, where in majority of the time he or she is the one that is using it. Because remember, as someone that is going to give away your car, you can't request it all nilly-willy. It can't be, oh, I want to go to my grand this week, can I just have my car? You get, like, this is something that is for business purposes, and because of that, the driver has to have access to it almost 24 hours 7 days a week. And if you are going to bother them, then it charges into both yours profit. So if you take it for a day, that is a day, maybe that's 300 rands gone from, you know, whatever amount that you guys agreed upon, depending on the rate. And also do your research, do your due diligence, ask around, find out from drivers, find out from owners what's working and so forth. Take your time, vet your driver really well, get a police clearance, get all these things that will ensure that you have covered all your bases. And now to the juicy detail, my story.